Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome live to Highland Park, Mifflin County High School, where today on MCTV it is girls tennis action with the Mifflin County Lady Huskies in mid-pen play, playing host to Carlisle, the Lady Thundering Herd. Happy to have you with us again on MCTV for another live stream. And today, like I said, it's going to be girls tennis, so we will take a look at these two teams here. Carlisle just arrived a little bit ago. Game time was slated for 4 o'clock today, and it looks like we're going to get started on time. Taking a look at all of the courts here at Mifflin County High School. If you've been with us the last couple days, we've had the first two home games on for the Mifflin County girls, and this is their third attempt here on the home court. They were also in action yesterday on the road in girls tennis. So Mifflin County still looking for their first win here today as they will take on Carlisle. So should be an entertaining match for you today. A busy day on MCTV as well. In addition to this live stream of girls tennis action, we will also have the Mifflin County School Board meeting on tap for you tonight. So you can be ready for that to come your way too. So busy night here tonight. Happy to have you, like I said, again with us. And MCTV happy to be streaming all this coverage to you for girls high school sports, not only here, but also this fall with field hockey. In addition, girls volleyball, which of course is inside this year, as always. And unfortunately for indoor events, that means no fans whatsoever admitted into the facilities. So unfortunately there will be nobody there inside to root on the girls, but we will be bringing you the action and hoping that we can be ready to go for that here in about a week or so whenever the girls get ready to play some volleyball. So that is our plan here, to try to bring you as much coverage as possible. Happy to have with me again today Ryan Esch, who's going to be helping with the play-by-play today of high school tennis. Once again, a nice day here at Highland Park for the game. And Ryan, I know you went down to talk to the coaches there a little bit. One thing that's been interesting for us is that not only are we streaming here locally, but the opposing coaches, I should say, asking for the information. And I know yesterday 2 days ago, we were well over 100 people tuned in to watch the game that we had on Tuesday with Hollidaysburg. So he's also called all the parents and fans in Carlisle so they can tune in and watch today's contest as well. So Carlisle, as you can see on the screen, they are in the green, the road green, taking on your Mifflin County Huskies. We will go over the matchups here with you in a moment. Ryan was just down talking with the visiting coach and with Coach Glenn Kyle to check and see who all we would be in action today. So let's start on court one. Again, if this is your first time tuning in with us here on MCTV, the layout here, court one on your far left, then court two, which features the number 2 singles game, court 3, our third singles match, and then the other 2 matches which will feature in the scoring, the number 1 doubles team, which is right there on court number 4. By the way, the action you are seeing, don't worry, you're not missing anything. This is just warm-ups, both teams getting themselves ready to go. And then again on the far side, a little hard to see as we have to go through some mesh lining over there, but you can see right there court number 5, which is the other doubles team, which figures in the scoring. Again, only 5 of the matches count. On court number 6 over there, you can see there are other players playing, but that is exhibition here today. So Ryan, if you're ready, let's go over the lineups here today as we have them. It looks a little scattered there for us. We have some partial information, but court number 1 for the Huskies, who do we have?
Well, again, we have Olivia Cayley and Sarah from Carlisle.
Okay, again, we apologize that we do not have last names for some of the Carlisle players. Again, tennis is a sport that's not used to being covered like this, and so we ran down and tried to get what we could from the coach, but we do know that their number 1 player is Sarah. So for Mifflin County, they're in court number 1. I can tell you that Miss Cayley certainly had her hands full in the last match we saw against Hollidaysburg, as she's seeing some pretty tough number 1 players.
Yeah, it did look like it. The player for Hollidaysburg really had a strong forehand, and it just shut Olivia down.
Yes, she did. So we'll see how she does fare today. Moving on to court 2. I see Sydney Kyle is back out there for the Lady Huskies. And for Carlisle,
We have Natalie Owick.
Natalie. Okay, so Natalie, take a good look at Natalie right there for our fans in Carlisle tuning in. So that is Natalie on the far side, and here is Sydney Kyle, the daughter of head coach Glenn Kyle for our Husky tennis team. Moving on to court 3, what's the matchup there today, Ryan?
We have Jalen Yoder and Roni Aid.
Okay, Roni Aid. Again, Jalen here. Of course, our Huskies wearing the home purple. And Roni over there for Carlisle in the green and white. Carlisle, I can attest to you, being the girls basketball coach, one of the longest trips that our athletes have, being in the mid-pen. That is a long way down and back to Carlisle. And let's move to doubles, the number 1 doubles team. First for the Huskies, who do we have in action today?
We have Isabel Wagner and Sky Curry. Again.
So Wagner and Curry again today, and I do want to note there, yesterday or 2 days ago when we had them on, boy, when they had Wagner at the net and Curry deep, they really looked pretty good. So it'll be anxious to watch them today as they develop over the season. Again, it's very early in the season, obviously, and the girls had a late start with limited practice. So we'll look for some continued improvement from the doubles team there. And then for Carlisle on the number 1 doubles.
We have Lily and Macy.
Lily and Macy. So Lily and Macy, there they are on the far side, getting themselves loose. Going to be a little bit late for the start. Again, official start time was to be at 4 o'clock, and we're at 4 o'clock now. So, but we are going to be pretty close. Carlisle just pulled in probably 5 minutes or so before we went on the air. So, and now again, we'll try to go to that far court for our doubles teams over there from Mifflin County. Ryan, go ahead.
We have Lily Ryden and Asia Binder.
There is Lily on your left, Asia on your right, as they again are continuing just to go through warm-ups. Again, when they're on the far side facing this direction, we can see them pretty good. And as you can see, for the teams with their back to us on court number 5, it's a little tough as we're shooting through the screening. But for Carlisle, who do we have there on court 5?
We have Olivia Myers and Nina Som.
So Olivia and Nina. All right, so that's our matchups on the courts today here. Mifflin County taking on Carlisle, girls tennis. Again, we're going to pull out here and give you a wide shot of the courts. If you just tuned in, again, you aren't missing anything. We are just getting started here with today's matchups. So action just underway. Don't know if you can hear or not, but in the background you may hear throughout the broadcast, again today, the Mifflin County High School Marching Band as they are going through practice right behind us and will be for the next hour and a half. So you'll have a little background music from the band throughout our event today. So it looks like on all of the courts we are getting ready to start. Players are meeting at the nets. They go over the ground rules at the beginning. I saw Glenn Kyle and the Carlisle coach had all of the ladies together going over the ground rules of the newly surfaced Mifflin County Tennis Center. Moving over to court 3, Jalen Yoder there. So both players at the nets and ready to move on. So here we go. Getting underway. Let's move over to court number 1. And this is Sarah for Carlisle and Olivia Cayley for the Huskies. So again, Carlisle in the green, of course, Mifflin County in the purple. And we're going to start just keeping you here on court number 1. If it's your first stream with us in tennis, we do our best to try to hop back and forth from court to court. And that point will go to Sarah for Carlisle as Olivia can't quite keep it in. Olivia, a junior for the Lady Huskies. Again, the top 3 players have not changed at all, Ryan, since we've started covering them. And Coach Kyle said that's a problem of tennis right now. They had such a late start that they haven't really been able to have any more what they call elimination matches. So nothing has changed in the rotation right now. So until the girls can get back to where they can practice, we'll just stay like this with Kaylee at number 1, Kyle at number 2, and Yoder at player number 3. So Kaylee ready to serve, and the return shot is wide by Sarah of Carlisle, and the point will go to the Lady Huskies. Try to get you a look here at the Carlisle player today as she waits on the baseline for the serve. Nice serve there by Kaylee, but her passing shot is wide, and the point goes to Carlisle. Crowd probably the lightest we've seen it right now. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. There's about maybe 30 people here.
Yeah, so we have been having upwards of probably the first match we might have had. We thought maybe 70 people or so, but today it's pretty light. And of course, a lot of that has to do with the fact that the visiting team today, coming all the way from Carlisle, you're not gonna get too many folks here for making that trip on a weekday at 4 o'clock. Let's move to court number 2. Sydney Kyle and Natalie Owen. Owen serving here on the near side. That is Sydney Kyle on the far side. Let's watch a little exchange here on court 2, and the shot is wide there. They keep the score at the nets. If you're just joining us here, we'll explain that to you here in a minute as we watch more of this action on court 2. Owen serving to Kyle. That serve is out. It'll be the second serve here now for Owen. And a double fault. So give the point to Kyle. And Sydney's return is short. And it's back over for the serve to Owen. And Sydney's shot is wide again, and Owen will get the point. After this exchange here, we'll take you into the nets and show you how the scoring works here. Shot is short. Second serve. And a good second serve that time from Owen. And a nice little exchange that time, but unfortunately Kyle's shot goes into the net, and Owen will take the point. While Sydney's in there, we'll zoom in and show you how these scoring cards work. And you can see there, guest on your left, home on your right. The inside zeros are the individual games, and the outside zeros are set points. So right now it's 1-0 here. We're in game number 2 between Owen and Kyle. We'll stay with this for one more point here before we move on to check out some action on another court. Sydney's shot is wide on the serve. Second serve now for Kyle. Nice approach shot there at the net by Owen, and give Owen the point. So that's a look at some action on court 2. Let's slide over to court 3 now. Looks like they are changing at the net here on court 3, so we can get a quick peek at the score. And it looks like Roni Ode is off to a really good start here against Mifflin County's Yoder. There's a shot at Roni Ode from Carlisle. She leads here 3-0, so we're already in the 4th game of the first set here on court number 3. Roni must be a pretty good number 3 player, Ryan, because the last couple days watching, we've noticed that for Mifflin County, some of our more competitive action has been coming out of Jalen Yoder on court 3. Again, if you can hear them, that's the Mifflin County High School Marching Band in the background. Band director Art Belfiore has them going through their halftime show, which unfortunately they will not be able to play at halftime this year because the band has elected, at least at this point, to not go to Mitchell Field because then they would have to count in the 250 fans. So in an effort to help some people get to the games, they have elected to stay home, and instead we're actually going to be videoing the band doing their halftime show early next week, and that video will then be used and played at halftime when we air the football game next Friday from Mitchell Field. That is next Friday, by the way, against Bishop McDevitt. And Mifflin County Athletic Director Tish McClay made an announcement just a day or so ago about early plans on what they look to do for fans at Mitchell Field. At this point, they are going to be able to get each of these senior football players, Ryan, I understand, 2 tickets.
2 tickets.
2 tickets for senior parents only on the football team, but at least we were able to get some of them in, and you really do want the senior parents to get in there if at all possible. So parents will be there, but no fans, and unfortunately parents of the younger kids will not be able to be in there as well. That's, of course, unless the governor changes regulations, but right now it's limited to 250 people. So we will just have to make do. Roni serving here. Again, Jalen Yoder on the near side for Mifflin County with the return. And Yoder's shot is into the net, so give the point to Roni Ode. Moving to doubles for the first time, let's go over here and take a peek at the action. That is your Mifflin County doubles team right there on the far side. Curry is deep, and Wagner is up at the net right now. Give us that lineup again, if you would, for Carlisle here, Ryan.
We have Lily and Macy.
Lily and Macy. We have some action underway here on court number 4. And Curry's shot went long. So give the serve back to Curry for the next point. Go ahead and take a look at Miss Curry on this serve. And that shot is into the net. It'll be the second serve for Curry. Curry with a high lob across, but it does get there. And that'll be a winner for Carlisle. Let's take a look at that score in the doubles match. And at the moment, it is 1-0 in favor of Carlisle. Yes, again, a nice little background music today, courtesy of the marching band. Stick with the doubles match here again for a little bit more. There's Curry running one down, a nice backhand. Wagner, again, does a nice job at the net in this doubles team. Curry with a nice crossing shot, and give that point to your Lady Huskies. Of all the things we're seeing here in tennis, Ryan, I would think that doubles probably takes the most time to get coordinated. You got a lot of teamwork there between the two kids, and even in just these first 3 games, I think we're seeing these two get better.
Yeah, in the past 2 matches, they've pretty much stayed out second or the first to last match.
Second serve here for Curry. While we do have Athletic Director Tish McClay joining us here for a second, we'll try to get a word with Tish and see what is new today in the world of athletics. Your headsets, I'm going to warn you right away, Tish, you're probably not going to hear me or yourself. So, but you're on. So Tish McClay with us, Athletic Director. Tish had a late change this week. We're going to keep the action going with the doubles team on court 4, but I know some people were wondering what happened with State College, but a late cancellation there in a scrimmage, but we were able to get another one real quick.
Yeah, State Colleges are voting tonight to decide what they're going to do with their athletics, if they're going to allow them to compete, who they're going to allow them to compete against. And since they are in a no-contact phase of practice in State College, there was no way they could be ready for a scrimmage for us tomorrow.
So how did that work out with Newport? Just a phone call and they said yeah, or what happened
We
there?
send out a mass emails to our distribution list of athletic directors from pretty much across the state and different districts, and other schools are in the same situation we are. Newport was one of the only teams that reached out. They needed a scrimmage. We needed a scrimmage as well. So we were thankful to have that opportunity to get on scrimmage Newport. And again, I don't know, someone said they did hear, I don't know on which radio station, I believe it might have been WCHX, that it was an open scrimmage. It is not an open scrimmage. No opposing spectators are permitted to be at that scrimmage. Again, nobody likes these regulations, but we're trying to make the best situation that we can out of the regulations that are in place.
And we have that going on right now inside our gym as well, right? We got a volleyball scrimmage going on, but nobody there.
Right, and that's correct. Right now, Juniat is here for a volleyball scrimmage. Only 25 total people are allowed in the gym. That includes players, coaches, officials, and anyone else we may need in there. So we do have protocols in place. If the athletes are not participating actively at the time, for example, varsity scrimmaging, JV teams then are in our commons area. We do have a big screen TV set up so they can see the action in the gym. And we have a couple different areas outside of the gym, outside of doors, where substitutes can wait to be called in by the coach if needed as well. But it takes a lot of adaptation.
We have moved back over to court number 1 here for a second. Want to take a look back and see how things are going here for Olivia Cayley. Again, Cayley getting the best draw from the other school each and every week, and she is having a tough time of it here in the first set as she trails 5-0. Continue to watch a little bit of her action on court number 1 as we continue our conversation with Athletic Director Tish McClay.
I would think a little bit of the tennis action this evening, too, is the fact that this is our 4th match in a row. Yeah. We talked about the tennis schedule being compact before, earlier this week, and this is their 4th one in a row. So I imagine the girls are getting a bit tired by this point as well.
Olivia going over for a little bit of instruction there from head coach Glenn Kyle. You can see Glenn there through the netting a little bit.
Another beautiful weather day for tennis.
Yeah, really good.
It's been a nice week for athletics to take place. Hasn't been too hot, nice and cool.
Yeah, unlike a lot of times when you're worried about bad weather and rain and cancellations, unfortunately you've had other things to worry about besides that. So
that's right.
So what are you? Let's go get back to sports instead of talking about the situation that we're in here right now. Let's talk a little bit about what you're hoping to see this year in your Husky sports teams. Let's start with cross country. Let's talk about cross country a little bit there. Coach Lote back again, who's been established there pretty good. What are we looking for in this year's cross country team?
I think Coach Lote and Coach Freed both do a great job with the runners that we have. We do not have great numbers this year for cross country, but we do have Braden Harris back, one of the top runners in the state. We also got some young talent coming along as well. We got Kylie Cubison back for the girls, who just switched to cross country as a sophomore.
Yeah, she was kind of you don't see that in cross country very much, that somebody just, switches sports, and she comes in and she's one of the top runners.
She switched from soccer to cross country, and she just really took the cross country world by storm last year. She set school records, and she just really excelled at the sport. And now that she's more familiar with it, has more time under her belt, we're certainly expecting great things from her. Braden Harris has been a mainstay since he's been a freshman. I certainly think this season's, really important to him as well, to see what type of collegiate offers that he can get. And he's a kid that works hard, and you see him running all the time.
How about the girls tennis team here now? Since we're here with them, I know you've gotten not a lot of time to see them, but you've been out here a couple times. A real mix here on this team. You got a couple of seniors. We said the top 3 kids. You've got two seniors at the 2 and 3 spot. Kaylee, a junior, is there, and then you've a bunch of young kids, pretty much the rest of them.
Right. They are young. They're a bit inexperienced. I know I talked to Coach Cow, Coach Mazurek, Coach Hugendubler about the kids on the team this year. They're really trying to get kids more opportunities to play in the off season, just to get a little quicker, a little bit better hand-eye coordination, a little better with their serves. Coach Mazurek did try to run a summer program, did not have a ton of interest in that before, but still trying to find ways to get younger kids interested in the sport, build the numbers. I think it is great we have younger players. Some of the kids came back from last year. They're not in the top of the lineup as far as able to earn points and get in the actual competition. They're still exhibition, but still getting valuable experience. So next year, when they come up, they'll have that experience and hopefully be able to step into the lineup and make an impact.
We've moved over to court number 2, by the way, just checking in on that action with Sydney Kyle for Mifflin County, and Sydney again on the short end of a 5-0 score here in the first set. So Carlisle's thus far having their way here with the Lady Huskies in the early going. Another sport that's at least underway, playing a little bit, is our golf team. Last couple years, you would hear the name Colby Node, who was a girl who stepped in and did a nice job representing our tennis team, but she is gone. And so what do we have back this year? I've heard Owen Wise's name quite a bit early.
Owen Wise has been the leader so far for the golf team. He's consistently been their #1 player. He's been shooting in the 80s pretty consistently. And then the rest of the lineup, kind of a mix. Owen Mock has been in there,
okay,
and has played several times. And again, we are in a different conference this year for golf. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
I did not know that, no.
We are playing some different teams this year. Coach Bub felt good about that. I think he has good numbers out, and it's just getting that experience. Several times now we've come within a few strokes of beating not Cedar Cliff, but Palmyra. And Coach Bub, I talked to him about the other day a little bit. He seems to think that's a familiarity with the courses. A lot of those kids can play all those courses. They're within a few minutes of one another. It doesn't take long to get to the different courses. We do have a home match Monday. I know Coach Bub's looking forward to that, to get on our course.
And that is our only home match. Did I see that right?
That is our only home match. Golf was the very first sport to start with competitions, and they have a very compact season as well. They're in action again tomorrow. Monday we're home, and then believe it or not, next week they already have district sectionals. So
wow.
they're in the postseason next week already starting.
Wow.
Tennis as well. Tennis districts for singles will also take place next week, and then the following week doubles.
So it looks like we've moved over to court 3 here as there was a break in the action, and Roni has just wrapped up the first set. So she has taken the first set 6-love, and she and Miss Yoder are getting ready to move on to the second set. So while they are getting set, we'll slide back over to our doubles action once again. See how things are going here on court number 4. A sport that I think you know a little bit about, field hockey. Let's go there once. I talked to some of the girls. They had their first scrimmage, I think it was yesterday. Said they came out on the short end, I think 2-1, but that's a scrimmage, really not indicative of maybe how they played. But what's this team look like this year? I know there's a lot of seniors there that have put in a lot of time into field hockey on that team.
There are a lot of seniors on the team. Coletta Beeler, certainly a lot of people know about Coletta Beeler. She's the goalie. She's been the goalie for the last several years now, really strong in the net.
And signed Division I, correct?
Signed a Division I scholarship to play at Central Michigan.
Central Michigan, the Chippewas, yep.
Right, and I know she's real excited to have that opportunity. So you got her back in the goal cage. You got some experienced defenders back. Abby Moon's back. And Druka Miller was a freshman last year on defense. She's back as a sophomore. Tough player, real tough player. Haley Sheets, who scored a ton of goals last year, she's only a sophomore this year. And you add that with your experienced players, and I think they have a good core group of kids to make something happen this year. Something different in field hockey this year. No goggles are required. They finally got rid of the eyewear
Wow.
requirement, which I've been advocating for years. So I'm so glad to see that. The other thing is, instead of 2 30-minute halves, they are now playing 4 15-minute quarters with a halftime. And
A lot of sports, even at the professional level, have been experimenting with different ways of doing that. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I like it. There are no timeouts anymore, so that 15 minutes is all active playing.
Okay.
I talked to Lydia Hidley, who's, again, a great returning field hockey player for the Huskies this year. Played Centerlink last year, did a great job. She's our student intern this year, and we were talking a little bit about the scrimmage, and she said she kind of likes the 4 15-minute quarters, kind of gives a break in there, and that way coaches don't need timeout. And I said, well, that's because you never played for Coach McClay, who sometimes would call a timeout within the first minute if need be. But it's probably a good idea so kids can get into the flow of the game and get things going. So I'm excited to see what the hockey season brings for these players.
How about soccer, boys and girls soccer, a sport that I know we've been kind of waiting year in and year out, hoping that this would be the year. I know the girls had a couple seasons there where they started to look a little more, competitive. What are you thinking there about soccer?
For girls soccer, I have high expectations for them. I met with the team. I told them that. I think we're looking for great things out of our girls. They were able to be more competitive last year. They have a ton of younger players back that are super talented, and I'm excited to see what they can do this year. Boys soccer, they're going to struggle a little bit. Boys soccer doesn't have great numbers right now. They only have 14 healthy players that don't have nagging injuries.
Wow.
And they've also lost some players that decided not to come out due to COVID for some of them, and others because there's so many Saturday games this year because of the adjusted schedule. They're into activities like Boy Scouts or have other obligations. So Coach Lepley and his crew have lost a fair amount of kids this year. I think it'll be a more of a struggle for the boys team than girls team, but I know they're going to be working hard and getting at it.
And we will, of course, as you're watching more of this live action between Carlisle and Mifflin County here on the tennis courts, we will have coverage of all the home events, boys and girls soccer. Our engineer here at MCTV, Mr. Matt Moore, who has also joined us here today, he will be helping to run all those soccer broadcasts from over at the Mifflin County Middle School field. And a big shout out to our technology department for getting things together so we could go places where it used to be we couldn't go to get broadcast to people. So really want to give a shout out to those guys. It's been a real coordinated effort to make all this happen this year. Volleyball, Coach. Just was talking with Coach Mayo before I came out here today. She was talking to me about our huddle software that we have because, again, no parents can see any, unfortunately, volleyball games. So we will be bringing those to the public as well, all the action. But what are we seeing from the volleyball team?
Again, I think volleyball has a core group of athletes coming back. I think they've been gelling pretty well as a team. Coach Mayo, I believe, feels things are going well with that team. And we'll just see how that plays out. I will say volleyball, though. Volleyball gets a tough draw in the Mid-Penn. We know some conferences in the Mid-Penn are tough. And,
right.
And we were able to kind of switch some divisions for some of our sports. Volleyball, however, did not get that exception. So they will have a tough road, but every year I see the volleyball team just getting better and better and better. So I'm excited to see what this year has to offer for the volleyball team.
And I know what you say about competition. I know I said to her, so who do you start with? She said Cumberland Valley. So that's a nice little start there for the volleyball team. So,
right.
And then of course football. I saw that you made an announcement, and for people that didn't hear it, maybe we can repeat it now about what the plans are for volleyball. And while we're doing that, let me just go back down through the courts here again. That's our number 3 singles, Jalen Yoder, right here on the near side, and Roney on the far side, who's been playing pretty well for Carlisle. Just a real quick reset here for us. Our match score right there. Roney did take the first set 6-0, and she leads 1-0 here in the third set. Sliding over to court number 2, Sydney Kyle on the near side here for the Huskies. And the same exact score here on court number 2 as her opponent won the first set 6-love and is also leading here in the second set 1-0 as Sydney gets set to serve. And then back over on court number 1 where we have Sarah on the far side for Carlisle and Olivia Cayley, the number 1 player for Mifflin County, who is unable to return that serve. And looking at a score right there, it is a first set win, 6-0 for Carlisle, and she is up 3-0 here in set number 2. Again, it is the best of 3 sets, and the top, all you need is 3 wins to win the match as a team. You can win all 3 singles and lose both doubles. Any combination of the 5 games that gets you to 3 gets you the team victory. And before we go back with Ms. McClay, let's shoot over to court 5. Again, we're going through the net here, but we can get a little bit of a look to see what's going on over there. This is our second doubles team. They actually have their back to us right now. I'll zoom in on them right now there and give you a little peek at Lily Ryden and Asia Binder. Asia getting ready to serve over there on that court. And again, we can't unfortunately get you a score from there as it's a little bit hard to see, but we're going to keep the camera here a little bit and show you some action from that doubles match as we continue our conversation. So, Tish, back to what we were talking about the announcement with football. Everybody was wondering what's going to happen next Friday night at Mitchell Field. And, of course, this is as of today as we stand here because, as we know, every day seems to be a different story.
Right, I always try to lead off with at this point in time. At this point in time, we did calculate our numbers, and we are able to get 2 parents or guardians, 2 spectators per senior athlete. Again, that's not by choice. That's dictated to us by the governor, that 250 limit.
Right.
And I do want to point out that the only way that we can make that happen is because the band has opted not to attend the football games. And let me just give you a brief history of the progression of all of this. At first, the guidelines came out and they said absolutely no spectators at all. And even initially, they said no band, no cheerleaders. So nobody was permitted to be there other than essential personnel. Then they said band and cheerleaders could attend the games if they so chose to do so. However, you still needed to maintain that 250 limit and no spectators. Then they changed it again, and they said 250, and if you can fit spectators in that 250 and the 25 minimum in the gym, then that's what they would go with. I have talked to Art Belfiore. He's been great to work with through the years. He already told his band members that they were not going to be performing at the football games because when he went into the start of his season, that's the guidelines that we were under. And I know his competitions are going to be virtual, and he opted to still have the band not attend the football games. That's a huge sacrifice for the band, I believe, to make, and the band kids to make as well. But like I said, the seniors are the ones benefiting from it. I know people are not happy about it. Some people are not happy about it. We've heard comments and feedback, and we understand that. We understand your frustrations. And again, I just want to say we're trying to provide the most opportunities that we possibly can for our student athletes in a safe environment.
And also, you know, somebody else is disappointed, but with that gesture by the band, as you said, that has enabled you to allow senior football parents the opportunity to see their kids play, right?
That's right. That's right. And we are going to try to coordinate a senior night for our band, marching band, at Mitchell Field, where their parents would be able to come and they could put on a performance. And as long as we maintain that 250 limit, we can make that happen for them. Will it be the same as it was in the past? No, it won't be. But we're just trying to, again, provide them that opportunity and let them have a senior night and perform when they can in a safe environment.
And I think the other thing that we forget in all this, and I realize, I mean, I know this isn't normal, but, you know, there was a point in time, I mean, if you asked the spring sports athletes a year ago, would they have taken being able to play with no fans? They'd have said in a heartbeat, yes, because they had their seasons taken away from them. So while it's not ideal, the kids are, at least at this point, getting to play, and let's just cross our fingers and hope that that will continue.
Right, and we just take it day by day. We did hear that the governor is going to come out with new guidelines again. We thought maybe we'd hear those guidelines today. I haven't heard anything yet, so it may be today, maybe tomorrow. But this could all change again. The
Right.
situation is continually fluid. I know there's been a little bit of confusion, I guess, over the House Bill, what's the number? Help me out, 2787
I'm
or
not
whatever it
sure.
is, about allowing spectators to attend the sports events. So right now, it did pass the House and the Senate. It is on the governor's desk. We believe that he will veto that. He has until Monday to veto it. If he vetoes that, it has to go back through the House with a 2/3 vote and back through the Senate with a 2/3 vote. So a lot of people think, okay, well, they passed it, so that's in effect. Spectators are allowed now. That's not the case. There are a lot of other steps that need to take place prior to then. We've also been told by our solicitor that we do need to maintain that 250 and 25 limit, despite the court ruling by the federal judge on some of Governor Wolf's actions recently.
Well, we're looking at court number 1 here, by the way. This is live coverage. You're looking at live streaming coverage of the Mifflin County and Carlisle girls tennis match. That is court number 1. And again, a scoring update right there. It is now 5-0 in the second set. So Olivia will need to win this game to stay alive here, or else the action will end on court number 1.
She's a tough opponent there. The opponent's hit some
Yeah.
really nice shots.
Well, and I'll tell you that we've noticed the last couple days, and it looks like that is it. That must have been the final point. So Kaylee will go down to the number 1, Sarah from Carlisle, as she wins in straight sets, 6-love, 6-love. And, you know, that's the thing. You're excited as a player for the team. You're the number 1 player, but that also means you get the number 1 players from everywhere else. And she's had some really tough opponents these first 3 matches. We're going to slide on over to court number 2 here for a little bit, watch a little bit more action. Sydney Kyle on the near side here for Mifflin County. Well, Miss McClay, I'm sure you have other things you need to do, but is there any other information you think that needs passed on as of right now to everybody?
I just want to encourage everyone to try to be patient. We'll try to get information out to you as we get it. It can be a day-by-day situation where information changes, regulations change, procedures change. Try to be as supportive of the Huskies as you possibly can. Really want to thank Doug Cunningham, Roger Hurto, Matt Moore, and the support of the administration for making these live streaming events be able to occur. And the play-by-play with it is just great. I know I talked to Roger today. We've been getting a lot of great feedback from it. And it's a great opportunity for more people in the community to tune in and see what's happening with Husky athletics. And let's all pull together to try to make it the best possible experience that we can for our student athletes.
And we should also mention, too, if anybody close to the high school in athletics was paying attention to any emails and things the last couple of weeks, we do now have a good situation with the Husky Club. We have new officers in place, right? And so we will, even though the Husky Club might not be very active this year, because again, as of today, as we stand here, there will be no concession stands, right? There will be
That's
nothing
correct.
like that to run. So a lot of the fundraising efforts that we get to fund everything that happens for the Kids Extra, which, believe me, without it, a lot of things wouldn't happen that might surprise some people, are paid for through the Husky Club. But fortunately, the Husky Club's in pretty good shape money-wise, and they're going to have enough money there as a buffer to get through this year and hopefully still be able to do a nice awards program for the kids at the end of the season, even though we're not bringing in money at all this year. So that was good to see. We had a couple community members step up and become officers last night, so we're very, very thankful that happened. And it looks like on court number 2, this match has come to an end as well. So Sydney Kyle will lose in straight sets as well, 6-love, 6-love. And so Carlisle has taken the number 1 and number 2 matches convincingly. Sliding over to court number 3, Jalen Yoder in action there. Jalen has been pretty competitive. Of all of the Mifflin County players, she has certainly been the most competitive in the matches that we have seen. And right now, after losing the first set 6-0. She is trailing 2-1 here in the third set.
Jalen picked up the lone win for the Huskies yesterday when they went to Cedar Cliff. The 1-4.
The one victory.
The one victory was Jalen.
Yeah, she's been very competitive with, even though, again, tennis scores can be pretty misleading. You know, you can lose just by a point in every single game, but on the paper it says 6-love. You got beat. So
right.
But yeah, and Jalen's another one that we mentioned here too that really switched to tennis pretty late. I mean, she did not pick up a tennis racket unless, you know, she played on her own that I'm not aware of. But she didn't really play on the team, I don't think, till 2 years ago.
That is a common theme with tennis. We see it in girls tennis and boys tennis. We don't get a lot of kids to come out until they're sophomores, sometimes even juniors or seniors. So really trying to get kids involved in the program at a younger age to make the program a bit more competitive.
And of all of our sports too, let's face it, tennis and golf, 2 lifetime sports that these kids can get involved in.
That's right.
There's not too many other sports, I think, that you would find us jumping in to play right now other than tennis or golf. And golf usually involves a cart, if I remember correctly. So moving back over to court number 4, our number 1 doubles match. Ms. McClay, we're going to let you go. I thank you for taking time here to stop and see us. And I know, because I know you, this is your favorite part of being an athletic director, coming down and actually getting to watch the kids compete, and you really don't get to do that a lot.
I really don't get to do that very often, but I try to get to as many places as I can. I remember when I became athletic director, a lot of people say, wow, what a great job. You just get to go to sports all the time and watch them. And that's not really what happens very often. Even when I'm at the events, and I do try to get to all of our events as much as possible, I don't always get to watch the events, so it is nice to have the opportunity to watch the kids. One final thing before I go as well, I really want to thank those 4 people that stepped up to be officers of the Husky Club. And we are going to put an informational brochure together about the Husky Club that the media, I know the Lewistown Sentinel is going to help us run information about it. We really need to do a community outreach for the involvement of the Husky Club. We can't just have the same coaches and the same parents doing everything all the time. We need to pull some more community members in that have a little time to donate just a little bit during the week, maybe once a week or twice a month or whatever time they can give to give back to us. So we really want to put together an information sheet about that to try to get more involvement.
And we'll do our best on these streams that we send out, whether it's girls tennis, football, or whatever, to try to get you some of that information. Because if you are somebody, and it looks like the action on court number 3 is, no, we're still good here. Or are we still good? No, it looks like maybe not. But we will try to get some information to you so that if you are interested at all, we'll get you some contact numbers, people you can get a hold of. If you're somebody sitting out there, you know, maybe retired, looking for something to do, or maybe you've become empty nesters, which my wife and I are experiencing right now for the first time. And you think, hey, I really miss running around and being around sports. Believe me, the Husky Club needs you. So if you want to feel wanted, just come and join the Husky Club, and believe me, they'll get you to work, and you can get back involved. So again, thank you, Ms. McClay, for joining us. We're going to go back here now to court number 4 and check in on this doubles action again here a little bit. Ryan, we now have Ryan Esch, our student here from Media 3, back with us. More of the same here today. I mean, I see our girls competing, but it just seems like Carlisle is just always a step ahead.
Yeah, you can see that they really overpower pretty much every match. But I think that's due to experience, because we don't have any tennis programs to the younger students.
Good point. That is very true. And it looks like on court number 4, well, I think they might still be playing here. They're just taking a little break. So there is Wagner on the near side and Curry on the far side there, our number 1 doubles team for the Huskies. So while they're still taking a break there in court 4, we'll slide back over to court 3. Jalen Yoder still in action here against Roni Ode. So Jalen with the serve. We'll just stay with this a little bit. Nice backhand by Jalen. Good volley action. Oh, and just a little bit long there for Yoder. Played that nice, but just a little bit too much on that overhand shot. And give the point to Ode of Carlisle. Athletic Director McClay was talking too about how there are a lot of exhibition matches. Court number 1, in fact, right now has an exhibition match going on. It nice thing about tennis is some of the girls who maybe aren't in that starting group get to compete. As soon as the court opens up, they'll go out there and just play some exhibition work. I noticed yesterday, we'll go over here and show you a little bit of that right now, or 2 days ago when we had them on the air, we actually had our own players playing each other, Ryan, just so they could have an opportunity. So anytime you get out there and play, you certainly want to do it. So again, that's exhibition right there on court number 1. Let's go back over to real live action here with Yoder and Roni Ode. And Ryan, I'm not sure if you can tell or not, is that doubles game on court 5 still in? It looks like it is. I guess maybe they're just switching sides. Shot goes wide. Let's try to get over there to court number 5. Again, we'll zoom in as best we can and give you a look at what's happening over there. Again, with their backs to us are Ryden and Binder. And their opponents are Myers and is that Somm? Myers and Somm for Carlisle. See if we can stay with that. Ryden with a nice little lob attempt there, but the serve was out, so it'll be the second serve here for Carlisle. Again, you're looking at second team doubles action on the far side of the court. It looks like that serve is still in play. And give the point to Mifflin County. So we'll pull back out, come back over to our two courts that are still in play here out of our first 4 courts. Again, the near court here is the number 3 match. Roni Ode and Jalen Yoder. Yoder hits that into the net. Trying to return the serve. Point will go to Ode. I want to congratulate Yoder on her win yesterday. I believe that would have been the first match victory for any of our Huskies so far this year, so we congratulate Jalen on that. And she is a player, I'll say this, that I heard Coach Kyle talk about specifically about how her game has improved, good attitude, really great young lady in Jalen Yoder. If you just joined us and you're wondering, the noise in the background is the sounds of the Husky Marching Band. Band director Art Belfiore drilling the team. Again, we're going to be recording them playing their halftime show and then playing that back whenever we put the actual football games on the air on Friday. So that is how things will work there with the band. They are still entering contests again this year, but those contests will be contests that are done virtually. We'll pre-record the show for them and then send it along the way to their competitions and wish them well. And the band's had quite a bit of success the last few seasons. We are at, let's check this score here now. Looks like it is 4-1 here in set number 2. Ode with the lead over Yoder. Yoder's going to grab some water on her way as they switch sides of the court. So while those two switch sides, it looks like they're going to flip that score too one more time. And maybe I stand corrected. I think I do stand corrected. That was actually it for that court. So looks like Ode must have taken that game, Ryan. So as we've seen the first 3 matches, unfortunately the visiting team wins all 3 singles. So let's move on here now to the doubles action. We do have 2 doubles courts still in play right now. Want to remind everybody watching the stream that if you are not aware, in addition to sports, we will also be live streaming tonight on MCTV, the Mifflin County School Board meeting. This is a committee of the whole meeting, and we'll be bringing that to you live from the Mifflin County High School auditorium. Want to let you know, too, that you cannot attend that meeting in public. That is closed to the public. You can see it on Zoom, and if you want a better look at it, see it through our stream on MCTV. Trying to encourage as many people as possible. If you just want to see what's going on, our stream on MCTV will get you great coverage of that. But if you do want to comment during the public comment period, you will need to be on Zoom to do that. And we were laying that out. Our engineer, Matt Moore, assisting with that, getting everything ready for that this evening. So if you're going to be on Zoom, you'll be able to also take part and give comment during that meeting this evening. So if you are unaware, it started last month. We are covering all school board meetings from here on out. I'm happy to be adding that to our coverage on MCTV. Happy that the kids are back in school, as today was the first time that we got to send students into the Mifflin County Courthouse for the Mifflin County Commissioner meeting, which took place. So we had two young ladies in there covering their first meeting. And we will be editing that on Monday and getting that out to the public. Down the road here, who knows, we may be streaming those events live as well. Certainly something that can be done here down the road and in the works. But our continued coverage of recording the commissioner meetings and Lewistown Borough Council meetings will continue as always. So if you're tuning into MCTV just for these sports, want to let you know we are a government ed channel. So not only sports, but local government. If it's happening in Mifflin County, it's happening on MCTV. Focusing back in on our doubles competition here now. Wagner now